Bat Flip Dynasty is a card and dice drafting game for 2 to 6 players that plays in about 45 minutes. In Bat Flip Dynasty, you are the general manager of a big league baseball team. You'll run your team over several seasons, attempting to earn enough trophies to establish your dynasty. You'll attempt to create the best 5-man roster each season. Each player contributes wins to your teams. This is a player's base wins, and this is a player's max wins. Players produce wins by filling the die slots at the bottom of their cards. When all 3 slots are filled, they earn their base wins. Match all the skill icons on the card, and they instead produce their max wins. Begin setup by dealing each general manager 2 team/manager cards. Flip one card to its team side and the other to its manager side. This is your team and manager for the rest of the game. Team cards provide you with your team's budget and ways to generate bonus wins each season. Managers provide powerful in-game abilities and wildcard die slots. Take a number of money tokens equal to your team's budget. This will be your budget for the entire game. Place the player deck, trophies, and dice within reach of everyone, and you're ready to play. Each season begins with the free agent draft. Deal each general manager 6 cards off the top of the deck in the first season and 4 every subsequent season. Of the cards you were dealt, choose 1 to sign or to decline. To sign a player, place them in front of you onto your roster to the right of any previously signed players. Then put a number of money tokens on them equal to their salary. If you cannot or do not wish to sign a player from your hand, instead decline one by putting it in the communal discard pile. After you've signed or declined a player, pass your hand to the player to your left. You will receive cards from the player to your right. From your new hand, choose another player to sign or decline. Continue the sign or decline, then pass process until all cards have been used up. Some players are prospects. Prospects are free players that you have to wait for. If you sign a prospect, place them below the rest of your cards into your minor leagues. They will wait there until next season when they will matriculate to your active roster. After the free agency draft comes the team dice phase. Add up the total number of blue team die icons on all the cards on your active roster. Roll that number of dice. Place the dice onto the dice slots on your cards. If they match the skill icon, put them in the black square. If they don't match, instead put them in the red square. You also may place a die on the dice slot on your manager card to set a wildcard icon for the season. Any dice on your cards that show this icon can be changed to any other icon until final season scoring. Next comes the league dice draft. Add up the number of red league die icons on all your cards and put them into the box. Each general manager puts this number of dice into their league box in order to create a league pool from which you will draft. Whichever general manager contributed the most dice rolls all the dice, which are then drafted by all general managers. The first general manager is the one who rolled the dice. They will choose a die and place it on one of their cards. If there is an open slot on your card, you must fill it. If there are no open die slots on your cards, instead choose a die to eliminate from the pool and discard it. If you fill all the die slots on a card, turn that card to the side to show the number of wins that they will earn. If you've filled them and matched the icons, you'll turn them to the right so that their max wins faces you. If they do not match the icons, you'll instead turn them to the left so that their base wins face you. Next comes the regular season scoring phase. Tally up the number of wins generated by your players. Make sure to include any wins produced by player abilities or by your team bonuses. You only may receive wins from one player at any given position. With the exception of pitchers, you may receive wins from every pitcher on your roster. The general manager with the most wins receives a trophy. Then, any team that won at least 16 games receives an additional trophy for having won their division. In the playoffs, teams will compete for one additional trophy at the end of the season. Every team participates in the playoffs. Start by taking all the dice off your player cards. The playoffs have 3 rounds, during which you will attempt to create sets of dice. Each round, roll all the dice from your team player cards. Save any icons you wish to keep, and roll the remaining dice in the next round. In round 3, you may re-roll dice even if they had been kept in round 2. A pair is worth 1 playoff win, 3 of a kind is worth 3 playoff wins, 4 of a kind is worth 5 playoff wins, and 5 of a kind is worth 7 playoff wins. The team with the most playoff wins is the playoff champion and receives an additional trophy. The next phase is the arbitration phase. For each player on your roster, either add $1 to their salary and keep them on your roster, or cut them entirely from your roster and recoup their salary and add them to your available budget. If you have any prospects waiting in the minor leagues, you must cut one of your 5 players to make room for that prospect. The next phase is the promote prospects phase. Promote prospects from your minor leagues to the far right side of your roster. One season is now in the books and you're ready to start a free agent draft for the next season. In a 2-player game, the first general manager to accumulate 8 trophies has established their dynasty and won the game. In a 3 or 4-player game, play to 7 trophies. In a 5 or 6-player game, play to 6 trophies. And that's how you play Bat Flip Dynasty. Play ball.